Welcome to Chop 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 Chop, the time when we pull a student gem out of our programming past.
A Pickering College production.
Facial hair is such a personal thing to have controlled by an institution.
It is a rule, it's an expectation, and so until that expectation changes, we need to make sure that people are clean shaven.
Facial hair, good, bad, or irrelevant?
Beards and stubble are currently top of mind here at Pickering College, since grade 12 student Eduardo Pitalica's fiery speech at morning meeting regarding facial hair. On today's installment of Chop Docs, we will examine both sides of this hairy debate.
We will sit down with both Pitalica and Headmaster Peter Stirrup to hear their take on this contentious issue. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. Longtime Pickering College student Eduardo took the school by storm on Wednesday, February 8th with a 5-minute speech against the prohibition on student facial hair.
This presentation became a lightning rod of controversy, as the staff and students of Pickering College have been forced to reckon with this previously unchallenged rule. This documentary aims to examine both sides of this debate: why the rule exists, why some people support it, and why some people don't. To begin, we sat down with Eduardo Pitalica to ask him why he opposes the no facial hair rule so much as to give a public speech in opposition to the long-standing policy.
I think beards and any form of hair, anything that comes from your body, there's no way someone else should be able to control it. If we look back in history, whenever people try to control it, it's for reasons that aren't justifiable, and especially in this modern time where we're really dependent on having our own choice and having our own individuality. For them to control us to this level seems very, very old-fashioned. What bothers me more is the way they come up to us when they tell us to shave, and when they get angry at us for not shaving. It's just they threaten with suspensions and they get angry at us. I've been yelled at for not shaving. I've been called like a child, a 15-year-old. You know, it feels like they're putting a lot of importance onto it, and they really are disrupting the flow of the school by just prioritizing such a small, insignificant thing.
So that's Eduardo. But what's the other side? Why does this rule exist at all? For this, we decided to go straight to the top of the totem pole and to Headmaster Peter Stirrup himself.
Contrary to what Ed said, appearance is important, and you know, the consistency of appearance is important. And so we made a decision a number of years ago that students need to be clean shaven. The question is, what's acceptable? You know, if we allowed beards, that might be one thing, but does that mean that kids could shave one day and then not shave the other day, or go for 2 or 3 days and have stubble and look messy and so on? And so being presentable is important. Appearance is important. Appearance is still important in the world. When you introduce yourself, when you go for a job interview, those sorts of things.
And that's Mr. Stirrup. But what does the student body at large think? To answer this, we roamed the halls of Pickering College and asked the students what they think about this policy.
I believe that self-expression is important, and I also believe that, especially keeping in regards that it is a natural body part, I guess, it shouldn't be wrong to have a beard.
Well, in my opinion, I don't really care.
I think it's sometimes a little bit over the top that they sometimes threaten you saying, oh, you have to shave at school, which I think is a little bit much, but I don't see it as that big of a deal, because if you look at other teenagers our age, most of them have kind of ugly looking facial hair.
So there you have it. the reasons for and against Pickering College's facial hair policies. We hope you tune in to Chop Docs again for more topical and interesting segments like this one. Now we must ask, what's your take on the enforcement of policies like facial hair? Self-expression or uniformity? Beards or no beards? What's your perspective?
You have just listened to another episode of Chop Vault.